Hello students, myself Arati KS. I am going to present the video on Introduction to Computer Organization and Operating System of Session 6 Memory Hierarchy, that is cache memory. We move on to the table of contents. First one, cache memory, a basic operation of a cache, advantages of cache memory and disadvantages of cache memory. We'll move on to the next slide. We see about what is cache memory. The data or contents of the main memory that are used frequently by the CPU are stored in the cache memory so that the processor can easily access that data in shorter time. It means whenever the CPU wants to access the data and the program will be stored in a temporary memory that is called cache memory so that the CPU can directly access the data from cache memory instead of accessing from main memory every time, so that it can easily access the data within a shorter period of time. So, whenever the CPU needs to access the memory, it first checks the cache memory. Hence, a cache memory will reside in between the main memory and the CPU. CPU first checks the cache. If not found the data in cache, then it refers to the main memory. If the data is not found in the cache, then the CPU moves into the main memory for accessing the data. Cache memory is placed between the CPU and the main memory. We'll see the block diagram for a cache memory can be represented as we have a main memory and the CPU. Usually we know that CPU will refer to the main memory for accessing of the data. But here we will have one more type of memory, that is a cache memory. It is called as a temporary memory, which lies in between main memory and the CPU. The CPU first refers the data or the word in the cache memory. If the word is not found in the cache memory, then it refers to the main memory. So, the cache is the fastest component in the memory hierarchy and approaches the speed of CPU component. So, the cache memory speed is higher than your main memory because CPU can directly access the data, immediately access the data from the cache memory. Next, we move on to the basic operation of cache memory is as follows. When the CPU needs to access memory, the cache is examined. If the word is found in the cache, it is read from the fast memory. The CPU first access the data from cache memory. If the word is found in cache, it is read very fastly. If the word addressed by the CPU is not found in the cache, the main memory is accessed to read the word, which means CPU first refers the cache memory whether the word is found or not. If the word is not found, then it is going to access to the main memory for accessing the data. A block of words one just accessed is then transferred from main memory to cache. The block size may vary from one word one just accessed to about 16 words adjacent to one just access, which means whenever the block of words is accessed from the main memory, it will be transferred to the cache memory for a temporary purpose, and whenever the CPU wants to access the words, it can directly access from cache memory instead of accessing from main memory. So the block size may vary from it can store storage capacity of a block size is 1 word to 16 words. The performance of the cache memory is frequently measured in terms of a quantity called hit ratio. We'll see what is hit ratio. When the CPU refers to the memory and finds the word in cache, it is said to produce a hit. Whenever a CPU refers to the memory, if the word is found in cache, it is said to produce a hit. Next, if the word is not found in the cache, but the word is found in the main memory and it counts as a miss. Hence, what is a hit? If the word is found in the cache, it is said to hit. If the word is not found in the cache, but it is found in the main memory, then it is called a miss. So, the ratio of the number of hits divided by the total CPU references to the memory. Hits plus misses is a hit ratio. That is, how many number of hits is measured divided by the total CPU reference to the memory is the hit ratio. Next we move on to the advantages of cache memory. First one, cache memory is faster than main memory because it lies in between main memory and the CPU and it can store a few amounts of data. Next, it consumes less access time as compared to main memory. Less access time is required compared to main memory. It stores the program that can be executed within a shorter period of time. It stores the program that can be executed within a limited period of time. It stores the data for temporary use. It stores the data only for temporary purpose. What are the disadvantages of cache? Cache memory has a limited capacity to store the data. It is very expensive. We'll move on to the multiple choice questions. First question, cache memory works on the principle of A. Locality of value, B. Locality of reference, C. Locality of word, D. None of the above. Answer is B. Locality of reference. Hence, cache memory works on the principle of locality of reference. Second question, which memory is fast memory? A. Main memory, B. Associative memory, C. Cache memory, D. Auxiliary memory. Answer is C. Cache memory. So, among the three different type of memory, cache memory is the fastest memory. Third question, which memory is expensive among all? A. Associative memory, B. Main memory, C. Auxiliary memory, D. Cache memory. Answer is D. Cache memory. So, among the other associative memory, main memory, auxiliary memory, cache memory is expensive and faster. Fourth question, the performance of cache memory is frequently measured in dash A. Access ratio, B. Number of hits, C. Hit ratio, D. Transfer rate. Answer is C. Hit ratio. So, how many number of times the cache memory can be referred is number of hits. So, when the CPU refers to memory and finds the word in cache, it is said to produce dash. Answers options are A. Miss, B. Fail, C. Pass, D. Hit. Answer is D. Hit. Whenever the CPU refers to a memory and it finds the word in cache, it is said to produce a hit. Next question, if the word is not found in cache, if it is found in main memory, it is counted as A. Fail, B. Miss, C. Slip. D. Pass. Answer is B. Miss. If the CPU refers to the cache, if the word is not found in cache but it is found in main memory, then it is called a miss. Next question. Hit ratio of cache memory defined as A. Number of hits divided by total of hits plus misses. B. Number of hits divided by number of misses. C. Total of hits plus misses divided by number of hits. D. Number of misses divided by number of hits. Answer is A. Number of hits divided by total of hits plus misses. Eighth question. The transformation of data from main memory to cache memory is referred to as A. Transfer rate. B. Access time. C. Mapping process. D. None of the above. Answer A. Transfer rate. The transformation of data from main memory to cache is referred to as total transfer rate. Ninth question. Which of the following is not a valid mapping process for the organization of cache memory? A. Direct associative. B. Associative mapping. C. Set associative mapping. D. Direct mapping. Answer is B. Associative mapping. 10th question. In direct mapping cache organization, the CPU address is divided into which two fields? A. Index, code. B. Sequence, tag. C. Index, tag. And D. None of the above. Answer is B. Answer is C. Index, tag. Key answers are: question number 1 it is B, 2 C, 3 D, 4 C, 5 D, 6 B, 7 A, 8 A, 9 B, 10 C. Thank you.